Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop for this Sunday night. I'm Gav, that's Shawnee with me. Emmett is on the way. He's been delayed, but he will be here. Keith's not here. Keith's in Liverpool. Absolutely freezing, he said, but absolutely delighted with the Reds winning. Now, Keith was at the Brentford game a few years ago, and he never shut the fuck up about it, so you can only imagine what's going to happen over the next 12 months. Whenever Fulham get a mention on this podcast, he's going to tell us all about it over and over again. But before we get into the game, I would like to remind you that the lads done a post-match show. Matt, Kev, Chris and Robbie look in there just over an hour, all that went on in this game, and there was an awful lot that went on, so go and check that out. You can watch it or you can download it. It's available for your download. There will be memberships being thrown up here this evening because Rory won the members draw during the week. He said, Gav, just give away memberships for the month. So I think it was about 12 memberships we could give away with the draw he won. So we're just going to top that up to 15 because it's easier. It's a much easier round the number. So that's what we're going to do. You can opt in by hitting the join button, hitting the three buttons, and opt in for gifting. Or in the live chat, when one of them appears on the top, you can click on it and then opt in that way. And they're given out randomly. We don't choose people. When we put them in there, they randomly get put to members. So if you're opted in, obviously you have the chance of getting them. So, Shawnee, before we get into Liverpool 4, Fulham 3, and Liverpool's procession to the title from here on in, let's talk about Movember, because sadly we will be removing these from our faces very, very soon. And when I say very soon, about 11:05 for me, because I've told you beforehand that my wife thinks I look like the ghost of John Candy. So, but Shawnee, we wanted a grand.
Yeah,
We ended up with $2.5 grand. We done all right,
yeah,
didn't we?
yeah. Far exceeded expectation, and I was we had a bit of a crack and laugh along the way, on the shows and that, and then like there was people reaching out as well, which obviously I won't name names, but again, that's where you wanted to have effect. You know what I mean? And again, I know I spoke about it like to no end on shows that we've done. This one I saw different to the rest of the challenges we done, because those ones were primarily about raising money for a particular cause, that where someone was in need of the money. I won't say desperate need, but was in need of the money, or it was a
Yeah.
target. Whereas this one for me is not really like, it's more about awareness than the money. It's good if you can raise money and contribute, but for me, mental health in particular, it's more of an awareness thing, because we're in the winter now. It's dark early, cold long nights. Everyone's going through different circumstances, and if you can make someone feel even 1% more comfortable in opening up and talking, then it's a job well done. And if you can raise $2.5 grand while you're at it, it's even better. So thanks so much to the people who shared and so kindly donated. I think there's a possibility this might become an annual thing. I feel
Oh, it
where
is. I'm bang up for it.
balls and snowballs, and I'd like that. I think it could be like next year we'll have Emma on board from the start, and I'm sure we'll roll Keith in, and then we can even get a few of the diehards, the listeners in, and we'll get a LFC Day Trippers group going together, and you can lash up pictures there if you're comfortable. Putting
Will we
up the
call it the
old,
day trippers or what will we do?
yeah, well, you know yourself. That was yeah. We can call it a day trippers, to the
Yeah,
days gone
yeah.
past. But no, honestly, deadly serious. Thanks so much to everyone who's so kindly donated. And again, Movember ends, but you're rolling into Christmas now, which has different connotations for different people. Like they say, it's the most wonderful time of the year, but not for everyone. So again, if you're struggling with your own mental health, reach out to somebody, whether it's a friend or a family member, and as well, like, ask mates. If you think one of your mates might be struggling, don't be afraid to ask them, because you never know. Like, a small conversation can be life changing, and it's just as simple as that. I can't overstate that.
Yeah.
But it's you don't stop banging that drum, like, you know what I mean. Just because November's over, it's job done in terms of November. But look after yourself and look after each other in the coming weeks and months.
Yus asks, my mum has asked if you can keep your muzzy until Christmas, Gav. It's one of the weirdest messages I've ever got on this channel. But no, is the answer, right? Tell your man to fuck off. Let me see. Daniel McCrossan says you speak very well about mental health, Shawnee. Well, look, Shawnee does speak very well about it. He speaks about it better than me because I have this awful thing where when difficult situations come around, I try not make fun of things, but try to be humorous. It's just my defense
Yeah,
mechanism, right? And a lot of people are like that. But having said that, you said something there where if I notice someone's gone even quiet in a WhatsApp for like 3 days, like it could be you. You could be gone. I've done it before, and you've done it
yeah,
with me, where you mightn't hear from someone for 2 or 3 days. You think, where is he? And you just message going, you all right? Oh yeah, no, I'm up to my eyes, at work or whatever, and that's all it takes sometimes, is for someone to just message, and it might be just that someone's up to their eyes at work, but someone could be, just like you said, it's darker earlier, it's winter is boring compared to
yeah,
summer, like the sort of way. And it might be just someone that you do message and they say, no, do you know what? Not in the best of places. And you might say, right, come on, we're going for a bleeding point, or we're going for a game of snooker, or we're going for whatever. And that's all it takes to snap someone out of it and give them I suppose, the confidence to go and talk to you or just say something to you. And you can be
yeah,
able to, because a lot of the time, I'm not saying a lot of the time, but I know some of the time when people are quiet and you ask them, they're worrying about something that's huge to them, but it's actually not huge. They actually
exactly.
talk themselves into something where they think there's no way out of something, or it's a disaster, and it's not. You know what I mean? And that's not to put them down. It's just people get like that. We all do. You know what I mean? The smallest things, and you kind of think and think and think over it. But to get 2.5 grand was brilliant. You were saying about it being a yearly thing. Like I am got like this was a late kind of decision we made on this.
Yeah,
Like literally the very end, just before like Halloween, we said, oh, come on, we do it. But next year, I'm just going to bang a drum. And you know me, I'll
yeah.
bang a
We'll
drum and
do
I'll have
mustaches
everyone
and
on it.
mullets. We'll do
But
mullets and mustaches next
you
year.
did say mullets, and I'm kind of into this now.
You'd be like playing Billy Ray going around the gap. You'd be
We like
booted
deliverance going around the gaff.
out.
But I don't mind. My kids and me wife just put up with me anyway. So like a different hairstyle, I'm absolutely up for it. So mark your cards now. Middle of October next year, me and Shawnee are gonna bang a drum for Movember,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's gonna be we're going for 5 grand next year. I think we should just go for 5 grand next year, and that's what we're going to do. But look, we raised the 2.5. We thought we'd get 1,000 out of it. We got 2.5. It's absolutely amazing. But the big thing on it all is if you're down, if you're worrying about something, if you just anything, if you're in your gaff and you're like, Jesus, I've nothing to do, or just ring someone, text someone, message someone, start a conversation. Or if you think someone's quiet, you do the same back to them. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Take 5 minutes out of your day. You could be flying, you're having a great time. Take 5 minutes out of your day and you think he or she is being quite quiet. Message them and ask them. Do you know what I mean? So that's where we be. Let me see. Where do we go? Right. Liverpool 4, Fulham 3. And you said during the week, Shawnee, when we asked you about this game, you just went, just 3 points. I don't fucking
Yeah.
care how it comes. Just 3 points. But I don't think you see it coming like that, Shawnee.
No, I didn't. Look, I'm kind of sitting on this now all day, Gav, since the game, because I'll be honest with you. During the game, I was fucking fuming watching us. I genuinely was. I was, because it was a very un-Anfield like performance. But looking back on it, it's just pure Barclays. But then I realised, like, this is the first kind of week of this is the week of festive football where you'll see Sky and TNT bigging her up with the Christmas musics and all, and it's games every 3 days, pretty much now until January, mid-January. And like the cliche I find in this time of the year is that it's just about results. A performance is secondary and the result is paramount. And I think looking back, that's the way it is. I think with Spurs playing City this week, and Newcastle playing United, and where we want to be in the league, it was just crucial that we got 3 points this
Yeah.
weekend, because 2 of the 4 were dropping points. It
Yeah.
ended up being 3 or 4. We're dropping points now. I know people might not see United, but you want to just put as much daylight between the rest as you can in terms of getting back into top 4, which is where I see us this year. Now, I'm not writing us up saying we're not in the title race, because the further it goes on, it looks like it's folding into that and it's rolling into that. And it was just win. And like, it's weird because the first 20 minutes of the game, I think we're fine. I think it's a control Liverpool performance. We're creating chances, and you're thinking it's going to come, and then we get the free kick. But it's just mayhem after 1-0, Gaff.
But
It's fucking
can I ask you something?
mayhem.
Because like the lads looked at lineups earlier, they looked at all the goals, they looked at different things, and we, like I always say every week, we do it a little bit different. We look at different players and different things. But the big thing for me out of this was probably stages in the game and how Liverpool approached it, right? And you're saying mayhem from 1-0. I get that. Liverpool are in complete control of this game, right?
Yeah.
Forget lineups and all. The lineup was going to be fine whatever way it came out for me, right? Liverpool are in complete control of this game. Fulham are having nothing, right? We get a free kick. Trent bends it in. It's been given as an own goal to Leno because
Yeah,
it comes down and hits his back. Right,
Yeah.
but look, whatever. It's 1-0. Shawnee, I keep going back to it, right? And I am fucking thrilled with the 3 points. Like, absolutely over the moon with the 3 points. But you have to, and I was listening to the Anfield rap earlier, and Damien Kavanagh on it, right, was saying, this is the time to have a real go at them after a win. Because you've won the game, but this is a good time to get in people's ear now about that and say it wasn't good enough, right?
Yeah,
And it's a
yeah,
brilliant win, but it wasn't good enough. And I always go back to Shawnee. We go 1-0 up there, right? And, you know, the intensity's all right. We're playing okay. We get the goal. And Liverpool just seem to go into this mode where it's like, we'll win this game, whatever. And I'm not saying they turn off and just think this is too easy, but they kind of get it in their heads that, we'll win this. It'll be fine.
casual.
We'll win this. Yeah. And we struggle to get back out of it.
Yeah,
And Shawnee, that's the big thing for me today, because we're 1-0 up. We're grand. And then they score. Now, we get on to the goalkeeper in a bit as well. But Shawnee, this has to stop. And I
yeah,
think, like, when you draw the game after doing that or lose a game, you kind of go, you give out to them and they kind of go, well,
yeah.
look.
It's an
But when you
excuse.
win,
Yeah,
now is the time to nail them, Shawnee. Because if you don't think they're in a title race at 2 o'clock today, they're most definitely in one at 6:30 tonight after that City one. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? And it just seems to be something, Shawnee, that just drifts into us. And I don't know why. Just put the bleeding hammer down. Go 2-3, and then you can play whatever game you fucking like after that.
yeah. To be fair, look, I'm going to give them that kudos. I thought Fulham were impressive in stages today. They moved the ball really well, and they walked hard. They were out walking us, Gav, after we scored the fourth goal, which for me is completely unacceptable. That like, I think the fucking minimum expectation is maximum effort, and it didn't look like that after the goal, and they were causing us real problems. And again, like, we probably take for granted the type of saves that Alisson makes in them positions where the goal doesn't go in the back of the net and it doesn't really affect the game. Um, Not the grand killer. I think outside the first 2 goals, he's actually all right. And I know people will have their grievances, and
The
that's
first
fine.
goal, I'd argue with. The second goal, I wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah. No, look, it's one of them things. Like, you could look at 95% of the goals that have been scored over this weekend, and you can pinpoint blame to one or multiple players, and that's what football is all about. It's about forcing the opposition to have unforced errors and forcing them into mistakes. And look, that's the way it is. Look, fortunately, we lived to tell the tale today. Like, again, as well, like, another thing that, and this would sound like an excuse if you got beaten, but I'm giving it as what I think is a genuine reason. I remember, was it the 1920 season? 1920 season, I took a trip to Liverpool midweek game in December. It was against Leicester at Anfield. And fuck me, I've never been colder in the stadium in my life. Like, it was Baltic. The pitch was frozen. Mane scores early, and Harry Maguire equalises. And there was absolutely no atmosphere in the ground that night because it was so fucking cold. And when I was watching the game today, you could see people in the crowd were in there freezing their bollocks off. I wasn't surprised for Keith to turn around and say, "Oh, it's fucking freezing," and that can affect the crowd, and it did seem a little bit flat, and that can affect the game. when the crowd aren't in a game, especially at Anfield, the opposition team might feel like they have an opportunity to have a go, and that's exactly what Fulham done. They seized on an opportunity and they made the most of it. That second goal is fucking. We tried to be clever, stepping up from a flick on, and Darwin doesn't move his feet quick enough, and he plays him onside, and that's just the way it is. But Gav, I was in two minds about coming on here and having a piss in the moan about the way the game went, and then like we won't play worse than that many times this season. And if we play, we'll play better than that and not win games. That's the God honest truth. That's how bad I thought we were today. I fucking hate the 2 o'clock Sundays as well. I do. I hate them. It just feels real forced the way they just throw games on when a couple of the bigger teams are playing in the Europa League. It's a shy time to be playing football, especially this time of year. So I'm just glad it's over with, Gav. Fucking, I don't want to overanalyze it. There's 4 better goals you probably won't see scored in the one game than you see today. There was fucking belters all over the place, and there was a few decent individual performances. I thought, look, I think Simicast's cap piss. It's not a fucking, it's not a secret. I don't rate him at all, but I thought he was actually all right today. I thought McAllister was decent, and I thought Trent was very good. I don't know what they fucking put in there in boots, but he's like bleeding Stevie G reborn since he pulled him on. But yeah, look, 3 points and a fucking mad one where you kind of look back at and go, yeah, that was a bit of a mad one. And you could see by the reaction of the players as well at full time for Trent's goal. It's a big goal. And I think, again, you need to realise that I think we're at the start of a journey here for this Liverpool side and its current guys. Like, it's not the Mane, Salah, Firmino, Liverpool anymore. We're seeing a different side to it. And Klopp is teetering with the midfield. And I don't think that worked today, to be honest. I don't think Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai won today because I don't think we won enough for the ball. Every 50-50 seemed to be going Fulham as well. We weren't winning duels and we weren't mopping up second balls. And I think that's when Liverpool look vulnerable. Because if you overload us in there and get loads of runners, teams do seem to get a lot of chances against us. So yeah, it's one of them. We live to tell the tale. I feared the worst on 84 minutes, and then it was pure ecstasy on 88 minutes. And look, that's what it's all about. Just fucking digging out. I know who wouldn't have joined that today. The Arsenal fans who would have had to find streams the game and thought they were on to a fucking winner when we were 3-2 down. And that'll put a little bit of a fucking rock up, a little fright up them as well, that they're going, all right, so like we had to do it with City that last year and Liverpool had an off year and are these fuckers going to be on it again? And they have to come see us now in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And the closer we stay to them, you're just letting them know. So it's unfolding in front of our eyes, and I think, Gav, look, I don't think we'll get worse from today. I think we'll only improve, and I'm sure Klopp is still working on learning on the job in terms of playing with this team. But I don't think the midfield worked today. We seem to be overrun and out for, and it's not what we need. And I don't think any of the front three were really great either. I think they did moments where they look the Endo goal is well worked between Salah and Nunez to get on the edge of the box. But look, I don't want to overanalyze it because it's a shy performance, but a good result. And again, this stage of the year, give me results over performances 10 times out of 10.
Yeah. Emma, looking fantastic, by the way.
I'm actually going to keep this.
Are you?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, do you want to tell the people the reason you said you were keeping it? You told me last night. How would you like to say that to yourself?
She's here.
Okay.
If she's ever out on a Saturday, if she's ever out on a Sunday, I'll tell you.
Oh, happy days. Emma, look, we're at the going through the whole idea that it wasn't a great game, but it wasn't a great performance from Liverpool. We go 1-0 up, and we're going to get into the goals. Don't worry about it. But like Shawnee was saying, it's not a great performance. He didn't feel the midfield worked, but our overall feeling on it is that we go 1-0 up. Shawnee calls it mayhem from there on in. But do we cause our own mayhem, Emma, by just relaxing into this thing that, we're 1-0 up now, we just win these games, rather than going and making the 2 or 3 and then basically giving yourself the right to kind of not switch off, but just turn around and go, we're in full control here?
I think we've probably been guilty of, and maybe it's just the way our style of play, and I'm not going to say that we play, well, we do. Sometimes we think we can just play within ourselves, but I think that we may have underestimated teams a little bit this season. Not necessarily smelling ourselves, but just knowing that we're better than them, and we don't necessarily have to go full pelt to beat them. I don't want to go in too hard, because Shawnee's right. It's a bad performance, but a great result. And to have the resolve then to dig it out after being 3-2 down. I think we're about 12 to 15 points from losing position so far this season. What I saw today was Salah waiting for the ball to come to him instead of going and getting the ball. I think McAllister does it nearly straight after. There was 2 within the space of a couple of minutes. I think Gravenberch probably didn't cover himself in glory today. He just seemed a bit off. Didn't hold on to the ball, giving the ball away. I think we probably just thought that we had to show up against Fulham. Like these next 3 games, Fulham, Sheffield United and Crystal Palace. And you hope that this is a kind of nearly a shot in the arm, that they take Wednesday serious and they take next Saturday more serious. The players won't have learned an awful lot about the team or themselves today, I don't think, but the coaches will have learned an awful lot of what they need to work on. I think it's our best midfield: McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, like on paper, but not based on today's performance. I thought McAllister was actually really good.
Yeah.
I know that. I know we're not gone that far yet, but a lot of people are speaking about substitutions and how good the substitutions have been. Today's substitutions, I thought, turned out to be really good as well. But at the time, you were thinking,
What's going on?
What's he doing here? And it actually worked out well. I thought maybe McAllister was a little bit hard done by being taken off. Not so much Szoboszlai. I think he's had a bit of a quiet few weeks. But look, I thought it's complacency. I thought, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, I think the whole thing around the substitutions is I think he wants to bring Endo on to give us more of a stable base to try and go at them. And he needs to do that. You know what I mean?
That 15 minutes where Gomez is in that fucking hybrid role had me splats. I'm going, what is going on here? I honestly, we said, is that bleeding mushrooms and that chocolate or something I'm at to have? What is going on here? Why is he in there? But I think it's something that's addressed as soon as Endo comes on, and then we're a different team after he comes on, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying it's a fucking Endo. I think Klopp rectified the issue as quick as he saw it. And
it's horses for courses. That's not going to work against everything.
Look, again, like
Kev makes the point as well. There's 3 games in 6 days. That'll have an awful lot to do with today's subs as well, which is fair.
100%.
Because I know Emma has a bee in his bonnet over this, because we play Wednesday against Sheffield United, and then we play Saturday morning against Palace, and everybody else that plays on Tuesday doesn't plays after us at the weekend, which is fucking. But like, what's the point in fucking talking about them anymore? Arsenal Fan Circle channel did mention a really big boost for Liverpool today, there's Arsenal coming up soon, and you know what? We talk about being a third into the season. That halfway mark's going to come up very fucking quickly now. Before you know it, you're looking going, we're halfway through. We're over halfway through, because you nearly forget to count the games over Christmas, and then you turn into the new year like, fuck, there's only 15 left. Do you know the sort of way? But look, we've looked at the way Liverpool have played. We've looked at the kind of the attitude and the outlook Liverpool get after going a goal up. But let's go through some of the goals, because Shawnee, Trent's goal it's his fucking goal, and even when I was watching it, and the channel I was watching it on, I couldn't get an angle to see that it hit the goalkeeper. Now obviously there's an angle somewhere, but I just thought that's just come down and gone in the net. But they've given us a Leno own goal, and I'm sure plenty in the fancy football are going bleeding mad because 2 goals from a fullback would have served you nicely today in that fancy football.
Yeah, I think it's one that if Trent cares enough about it and he goes to this dubious goals panel, I'd say he might award it to him. And that's the God honest truth, because
Didn't Ben Mee get his goal yesterday?
yeah, no, I'd
And that
imagine
completely changed direction.
honestly, I'd imagine it. Like, I'd imagine if Trent was Harry Kane and he really wanted it,
Yeah.
and he went after them, they'd probably give it to him, because I think if Leno's not in, it goes in anyway. I think it bounces down over the line, does it? It's gonna.
No,
It
you
looks
see,
like
I found it hard to find an angle, so it must have hit the bar, came
You can't
down,
find-
and he landed, and he as he's landing, it hits him and goes
No,
in.
it hits the bar, hits the back of his shoulders and goes in.
Yeah,
It equals parts harsh on Leno as it is on Trent, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't want an own goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, I'd imagine if Trent would literally fucking, if he was to go to this fucking mythical dubious goals panel and say, "Come here, what's the story here?" Like, I'm at the whipping that thing into the stanchion. It literally it's one of the most aesthetically pleasing strikes for ball you'll see, and all helped by fucking the boots, in my opinion. The fact that he's wearing them, and I'd imagine Adidas might even throw a few quid towards Premier League fucking just for the own marketing campaign. But look, it's Trent's goal. Look at it whatever way you like. It's Trent's goal. We've seen. It's not like he's never done it before in his career. We've seen him put it in postage stamp plenty of time. It's not something that's out of the realms of his skill set.
do you think the captain's armband or the assistant captain thing now is where he's just pulling rank on frees? Because we've seen Salah line up over so many of them for so long, even with Trent hanging about.
Like, I'll tell you what it does. Like, since Trent's come in, like, into the team, like, what's he, 5 years now, a staple in the side. He's growing into it. You need to remember he's only 24. He's still learning the game. But I thought, like, there was fucking times today I always watched him going, this fella is unplayable. He picked the ball up on the, like, just do one, forget the right back talk, right? Because he's only right back on a graphic that's been put there by Scott, and it's the starting position when we don't have the ball. There's nothing right back about him. There was a stage of the game today where he's driving from the left side of our defence through the middle, and what's your man's name? Little shithouse he is. Oh, Fulham. Pereira. He absolutely ragdolls Pereira in the mid, bounces off him, and he crouches through, and the pace he gets to the edge of the airbox on, and he creates a chance. He's everywhere. He's a magnificent footballer. Anyone who goes on about his defensive acumen, it's a load of bollocks. Just look at the goals he's conceded today, and look at the goals United conceded yesterday. Fucking Wan-Bissaka and Ake or whatever are conceding goals like that every week. When it's Trent, it's a different story. But these lads are not having any effect on the game the way he was. He's a phenomenal footballer.
He is. It's a way of getting the best out of him without, putting him and boxing him into a set position. That's what I think it is, and that's why I'd leave him where he is. That was my argument last week when we were talking, myself and Phil and Andy, I think it was, on the shoulders. Rollu says from the side on angle, the ball is bouncing away from goal, to be fair. So, right, fair enough. Emma, I've got to start with you on the Fulham goal for Harry Wilson. Kelleher's getting quite a bit of grief over this, but there's enough mistakes in there from other people. I'm going to stand up for Kelleher on this one a bit, because I think if that goes down to Kelleher's right or down to his left and he doesn't save it, I'm kind of going, you should really save that. But the fact that it's right down below him between his feet, it's actually the hardest place to save it. We let them get too close to us, too close to goal with a square pass across, and Harry Wilson just gets a touch on it. No, just get a bit of there's good pace on it, so get a bit of a contact on this towards goal and I have a chance. Maybe Alisson saves it, but look, we're putting up against Alisson here. Do you know what I mean? I'd argue that there's more to blame from other people than there is from Kelleher in this one.
Yeah, the station I was watching it on actually cut off, and when I came back they were celebrating. So I actually only saw it from when the ball was crossed in. I think it was Robinson that crosses it
the
in.
left back, yeah.
And it's like Wilson gets a toe to it, but it's not a shot. It's more of a deflection.
Diversion,
like,
he just diverts it.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't have time to sort his feet out. He still gets a foot on it. And everybody's talking about being beaten at his near post. He wasn't beaten at his near post, went through his legs, but he didn't have time to sort his feet out. But the way he was positioned was to, like you said, if this goes either side, he had himself positioned to go either side, and it went straight at him. And it's very hard when the ball is like traveling that fast to sort your feet out. So I don't like people calling for Adrian to be in goal the next game.
You want to be on fucking drugs.
But look,
you have to be you have to be a sadist.
Do you know what? I think another part that catches Keller Cole is like, it's a clever finish from Wilson because he goes with his leading instead of letting it roll across him here with his right. He kind of stabs it with his lead, so it's the shot's coming quicker probably than anticipated. I think he could be better for me. That's only because I know Alisson Becker probably saves it.
But that's the thing, is that's the standard that we're holding Kelleher to.
That's the standard. To be honest with you, it's the standard he should be held to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely do. I don't think it should drop. I know Alisson is the best in the world, but I'm not mad at Kelleher. I don't think he's been great this year. I think it's probably one of them things where it probably was the right time from the goal in the summer, but he is coming out of cold. I thought he was much better on Thursday against Lask, and I'll expect him to be better on Wednesday, to be honest with you. It's one of them things. Like, again, Gav, what I was saying before you jumped on him, you can go through 95% of the goals scored in the Premier League this week, and you could finger a player or two to blame on each one of them. So it is one of them. I think the shot probably catches him a little bit because it's a clever finish from Wilson. Yeah, I think it is a clever. I know it's 3 or 4 yards out and goal, but 9 times out of 10, worst players are letting that run across their body and giving that keeper the extra split second. And that's why it's called a reaction save. And he didn't have time to react. So it's one of them.
Well, that's like when the ball is fired across the box at that pace, because it was pinged across. It only takes a nick off anybody for it to.
I was more annoyed at Matip being completely unaware of Van Dijk's position for the goal and Trent, and he just plays again. It's the casual thing of he just plays a laboured ball out to the right hand side, and that lad Robinson just cuts it out here. I think it's a really good player, by the way.
He was excellent today.
Andy says Shawnee's finger in players now. Show's gone downhill, in my opinion. Absolutely jumped on you. Everyone jumped on you there.
He's a dirty bastard.
Dirty bastard. So listen, I had to change the title of the show because I called it Predator Trent fucking beats, rescues the Reds or saves the Reds, and people are like, oh, you're calling Trent the Predator? And I was like, for fuck's sake, this bleeding woke generation. So I had to change it to Trent's Predators. Now people probably think he's just leading the fucking army of predators now. I don't know. Weird. But anyway, Keith is in the house. Key Plunkett of this parish, who was at the game, and I'm sure you'll hear about it constantly for the next 12 months. He says, all right, lads, Alexis was amazing. He said Kelleher was amazing with the ball at his feet, but dodgy on shots. And in fairness, someone does say there, look, don't worry about it. Kelleher does need a couple of games to get into a rhythm here, like any other player would. But when he's in goal, you're kind of going, will you hurry up and get into a fucking rhythm? And Keith is still fucking freezing, he says, from the match.
And like the 2 goals aside, he did, like, they would have been 3-2 up if he didn't make an excellent fingertip save.
Yeah.
I know Ream knocks it in, but he's offside. And then there's one from Robinson in the second half as well, where that is goal bound and he gets down and stops it.
Yeah.
So, look,
we
tend to highlight the bad things too much.
Yeah, but if they are bad things, you have to say they're bad things. But what you'll find is people go completely over the top. Like if you're asking for Adrian, like, come on, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like later on in the game, I've seen people on social media going, "This is it. We're not winning. They're fucking this, that, there, other." But talks of people leaving the ground on 83 minutes and all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people are just bleeding mad. It's a mad overreaction all the time. And don't get me wrong, Liverpool weren't good today, but they won the game. And it's all right to criticise them, but they won the game. You know what I mean? And they won it because they stuck at it till the very fucking end, till the death. Let me see. Let's talk about Alexis McAllister, because Liverpool are probing again. Diaz looks bright. Didn't look great during the game, but he's bright in this kind of move. What? He was, yeah. And I think he looked a bit, do I go outside this fella? And maybe sometimes I look for Diaz to be that trigger where, you know, he just goes at someone, goes inside, outside, wins a corner, whatever. And he couldn't seem to go to a rhythm, but he's trying his best here. Kind of gets away from. It's a lazy kind of clear. Well, it's not a lazy clearance because it kind of finds your man up front, the fella that hurt his head a few years ago. What's his name? That plays Jimenez. He tries to head it down, doesn't go well, and McAllister just comes onto it, and you know straight away he's not fucking setting this and setting it out wide to Salah. He's not looking to pass it. He just puts his head down and he absolutely malavogues it into the top corner. And Emmett, it's a fucking brilliant goal, and to get off the mark like that, it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's a screamer. Like again, he's having to play a position that he's probably not used to playing, and he probably rarely in that position. And you could just see it. He was definitely going to hit it, and like it's still traveling. It's like I think Kev says earlier on. It stayed hit, 100% stayed hit, and it was swerving away from the keeper, and it's an unbelievable
it's
goal.
Up as well. It's up high. Like, yeah. Well, now the only thing I would say on the keeper, could he go with his other hand to get there? Do you know what I mean? Because it's a brilliant.
One near identical against Middlesbrough years ago.
Yeah.
It's up
from the opposite side.
Goes across the goal. I think it's goal of the day. I think it's goal of the day because it's the hardest to execute. I think like you probably see shots here from there 100 times in a weekend, and 100 of them don't go in. It's a brilliant strike. I'm delighted for him, and you could see it. You can always tell if it's bothering a player by the celebrate. Like Darwin hits him a box in the back of the head and he's running past him and he's celebrating. Darwin just swings it and boxes him in the back of the head. But it's goal of the day. Between them all, like we're going on to Endos, who just fucking passes it in the net from fucking 25 yards out. But for me, it's a screamer, and it's one of them goals you can proper celebrate because you're just like, look for something to rule out.
Did you notice that I noticed? I don't know whether I'm reading into too much. I done a poll beforehand asking what the best goal of the day was, and McAllister is winning by a mile, about 70% of the vote. But I noticed a big relief on McAllister's face when he scored. It wasn't ecstasy. It was like, fucking thank God that's out of the way. It felt like, and I don't think he's under pressure to score goals for Liverpool. I just think maybe he had a bit of pressure on himself. Get a goal here. Show what I can do in a forward sense, even though I'm sitting in this position. And I think it might be his position at Liverpool. Just throw it out there. But I thought it was a real kind of, thank God that's out of the way. Now we're motoring.
I think he thought it, but I think there's an awful lot of us probably thought it as well, because he hasn't hit the ground running as much as maybe some of the others have, because he was being asked to play a different position. And the fact that he's a little bit further forward, and it's probably one of the I know he's had shots in previous games, but you could see he wasn't doing anything but shooting, and it's an unbelievable goal. It definitely is goal of the day. It's goal of the weekend. I won't say what goal it's better than, because look, I think you have to be very lucky with an overhead kick. But like Jesus, getting it into the top corner.
Yeah, but that was last month, so that's old news.
Yeah. But
Go on, sorry, Emma. Sorry.
No. I just think it's gonna. You'll see him playing with a little bit more kind of freedom. He probably was a little bit anxious in himself, and you're right. When he runs away, it's more of a relief than an ecstasy kind of a celebration. And it's a monkey off his back, like so.
Yeah,
he's brilliant last week. It's his best game in the Liverpool shirt for me last week against Man City, and he's brilliant again today.
Yeah,
so it's good. Like it's good signs. I loved McAllister at Brighton, and I love him equally as much at Liverpool. I don't think anyone loves him more than Jurgen Klopp. Klopp seems to fucking absolutely love him.
You have to be fair, Sean. You have to be fair to this.
He probably I reckon if Klopp told him, put your hand that far, he'd do it. He'd do anything for him, And I think they're the type of players that Klopp loves, and he's sacrificing a little bit of his game and his strengths for the benefit of the team as a whole, which is fucking huge. And I think Szoboszlai's even done that to an extent in terms of his work rate.
Massively.
Yeah. So look, again, he's a good player and he's playing himself in, and you need to realise that like his trajectory at the moment is not too dissimilar to Fabinho, because I genuinely remember Fabinho's cameo away at the Emirates, and I'm not joking. It's one of the worst displays from a professional footballer I've ever
It
seen.
was like the kid in Willy Wonka falling into the chocolate that time. He's all over the fucking
Yeah,
shop. I didn't know where he
it
was.
was literally like, have you got a fucking return policy on this fella? Because he's gawk. And he actually went on to be brilliant, and he really kicked on from then on. So, again, a perfect time for a player like McAllister to kind of put his stamps on. Again, 2 big away games as well against teams where it can get a bit sticky, and he's exactly the type of player you need, because that's what he is. He's a ball carrier who can bring you up the pitch. He's a disruptor, and the big thing is he's a facilitator for the likes of a Szoboszlai and if it's a Gakpo in there or it's a Gravenberch. So, yeah, I'm delighted for him. It was starting to come in a little bit on top for McAllister, I think, from sections of the fan base, which I think is stupid. He's a wonderful footballer, and I'm delighted he got off the mark today. If it was going to be anyone, I'm just fucking delighted it was him.
Yeah, I think when you look at Endo's made a bit of an impression. He scored in Europe and he scores today, and he's kind of coming on doing the things simple. And I think people have an expectancy on McAllister where I'm looking at going, what do you expect from him? I think we're trying to do something a little bit different in that 6, and he is something different, the sort of way. And I think Gravenberch has made a kind of mark. Szoboszlai most definitely has, and McAllister feels like the one that's come in and has had the hardest kind of integration into the team, because this is a brand new midfield, remember, so you have to give it that little bit of consideration. And he probably felt like everyone's making that mark here, and I'm still kind of going under the radar and kind of being pointed at a little bit. And he does that today, and you're kind of going, now he feels like Grant. Now I'm fully in and settled along with the rest. You know what I mean? Keith says he's not a 6 that we expect him to be, but he's the business. I'm even more on board after seeing him live. You see, Keith just look. Did anyone hear that Keith was at the match? But look, there's mayhem, and I think there's mayhem. Then they have a goal scored, they have a goal disallowed. It's 2-2 at half time. Emma, yeah. The second half then is very hot and cold for me. It's very kind of, we're going, we're not. And in fairness, I can see the Fulham goal coming.
Yeah.
I can see it coming, and they get it. And people are throwing things at the likes of Simicast at the back post. Simicast at the back post, and he's, this ball's coming over. Your man just gets up over him because has the kind of forward momentum to do that. And you're thinking to yourself then, and I'm not skipping over the Fulham goals for the sake of, let's look in detail. The lad's done that. But what I'm saying is that from there, there's a marked change. And I think the big change is in the crowd. Because I thought the crowd were quiet all day. Now, I understand it's fucking freeze now. It feels like it should be a run-of-the-mill. Sit there, for 90 minutes, clap, applaud, sing, go home. And then it's kind of, we're losing here, Jesus Christ. But the crowd kind of turned then. And the subs are a little bit bemusing, and you're kind of going, what's going on? And then I think the crowd just decided, you know what? Let's just go with this. Let's just go with it and see where it goes, because they need us now. And Endo coming on, people are like, what is going on here? Endo for Gravenberch, wasn't it? And, people are like, what's he making that change for? But Gravenberch was out on his feet. Gravenberch is still finding his feet physically in this team. And then he sticks one in the top bin. And the funny thing is, when Salah gets that ball, Emma, all of the Fulham team decide we're dropping 10 yards on this fella. Why? You're on the edge of the box, but they all drop 10 yards. It's a brilliant finish. Because he could have swung at that and just tried to blast it as hard as he could. He doesn't. He places it in the top corner, Emma. And many players of much more technical ability do things like that, and people go, wow. I think it deserves a bit of a wow for Endo. I think he was brilliant when he came on. It's a great goal.
It's an unbelievable goal that he made look so easy, and partially down to, and I was in the chat earlier on for the post show or the post match show. It's composure. It's like he's the captain of his country, it's Japanese composure. He's a captain of his country. He's used to playing in games like this, and he has the composure to just pass it into the corner, because he literally, like Shawnee said, he literally just passed it into the top corner. But I think that's probably why Klopp brought him on as well, is to try and maybe not necessarily get on the ball, but try and calm things down. We maybe were a little bit frantic at that stage. I just think we're very pedestrian as well in the second half, particularly for their third goal. I just thought, like, get out to them. Like, Tsimikas could have got out to your man to begin with, and then Gomez could have got out to Willian, and it was just even Kanate in the box seemed to be just strolling. But look, Endo he's going to do what it says on the tin. He's reliable. He's not going to be our starting six. And I was, like you said there, if you were happy for anybody to get a goal as McAllister, yeah, I agree. But I was absolutely delighted when Endo got it. And I won't name names, but in the chat, in the Telegram, was like, Endo, for what? And then at least a couple of us said, for that, as soon as he scored his goal. Now, obviously, that's not what he was brought on for. But yeah, no, it's an excellent composed finish from Endo. And that's what he brings.
He fucking plastered all over your lad Bibles.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably footy vid. Like, it's...
But I think somebody said earlier on, I think it might be Matt, when the ball drops to Salah, about 3 or 4 of them go to Salah, and that's the beauty of, right, so
they
Salah
drop
might
off
not be scoring.
They actually have a chance to tackle him, and then Salah takes a touch, and then they all go, oh fuck, and they drop off, and then it gives Salah a chance to take it, look and pass it.
The goal is, do you know what? And again, it's that mad comes, and he was shy today, don't get me wrong, and he'd want to get his arse in gear in terms of his finishing, right? But it's that man comes, right? Darwin's in his ear going, oh, vamos, vamos. And then Endo turns around, who's Japanese, and it starts saying, come on. You can read his lip, and here he is, vamos. It's fucking brilliant. And come here, I'm not going to lie to you. As soon as we got the third, I knew we were getting a fourth. I knew it, because there was a huge let-off in the ground for the third, and you could see the tide kind of fucking turned straight away. I thought he was deadly when he came on, Endo. I think because he gave us a natural shape again, in terms of Gomez not running around like he's fucking Emmanuel Petit in the middle. We're going, what's going on here? Why is he in there?
But I think Trent and Gravenberch didn't work, because
no, it didn't.
Gravenberch was
Trent and Endo looked fine.
Because Endo gets around, Gravenberch just genuinely tired, and you've seen that in him loads. And that's not to say the fella isn't fit, but this is like Liverpool's midfield work incredibly hard. Whether you go back to the Wijnaldum, Henderson, Fabinho, Milner days to now, they work incredibly hard, and we have loads of the ball, but they're always moving. They're not standing still when we have the ball. They're always moving. And then they're always like doubly moving when we don't have it. And Gravenberch just has to get up to speed with that, and he will. But he's shown great signs.
But that's what Endo is. He's a workhorse. He's never going to stop. That's like you
but
look
I've
at
no
the
problem
Japanese
turning
team.
up the edge of the box and bleeding, putting them in like that. Either.
No, but like you say, he's a workhorse.
Yeah, he is. He just runs, wins it, plays it simple, and manages to get up the pitch. And in fairness, like, would you find Fabinho in that position in the old Liverpool team? I don't think you would. I think Fabinho will be 15 yards deeper, and if anything drops, he's looking to kill it and get us going again. Where this is the difference in what we're trying to do. We have those 3 in there, but they seem to be, 1, kind of a revolving door as to where they're all playing, and 2, they seem to be that bit further up the pitch. And maybe that's because Trent comes in and plays that. And when Trent comes in and plays there, it gives an Endo or a McAllister the chance to go, let's move up a little bit. Let's make more options for him. But when it went 3-3, like, in fairness now, we were blaming Keith on this defeat. We were all aware, we're like, it's definitely Keith's farm, like 100%. And then we only said it, and then those scored, and then we didn't even get a chance to text, and then fucking Trent does that, and we're like, sorry Keith, sorry about that, Keith. But look, It's
And Nunes
3-3.
had a hand in that goal as well. I know
Yeah,
he
it's a
didn't
nice
play
little
great.
knockdown to Salah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
look,
We set them out.
he's improving in his all round game. He hits out. He lashes one off the bar. Do you know what I think he needs? I think he needs a couple of strikers finishes. I think he needs a couple where they go across goal, face of the goal, and he knocks a few in, and then but overall he's fine. We're winning games. Yes, he could if he takes one or two of these chances. We're not banging on about him every week, but he's a bleeding head case. I think he ends up in Klopp's arms for the winner somehow. But
Klopp has him and who was it? He has two of them in a headlock.
like a
Him
bear
and
hug,
somebody
yeah.
else.
So
Bosley.
Is it Szoboszlai? Yeah.
so it's 3-3, and then Gakpo gets on it. And again, Fulham drop off. And Rory Fitzgerald tweeted us earlier, because Rory loves the kind of really digging into stuff and watching it and going, why did this continue? Was this a tactic? Because we've scored 3 really good goals from distance here, albeit 1 of 3. And then Gakpo picks her up on the edge of the box, and Fulham go, no, we're not challenging this. We're just going to drop off again. He takes another touch, smashes it. Leno should do better for me. Push it around your post. He doesn't. Nunes on it like a lie. Gets up back across goal. Now, they were looking at VAR, I think, for Simicas against... Yeah. Now, they both just go for a header. There's no free there for me. And then it drops to Trent. And Emmett, he's as cool as fuck. Forget the strike for the minute. He's as cool as fuck because 9 players out of 10 there are trying to hit that at least a second earlier. And he just goes, no, just let it drop there and I'll just sort it. And he smashes it home and the place erupts. 1, Emmett, it's cool. And 2, I think it's a huge point in the season. I think it's if we do something this season, we're going to look back on this a bit like we did Mane at Villa in 1920. And I might be stretching it a little bit there, but I just feel that moment now, if you go and you do your job against Sheffield United and Crystal Palace, you come out of that group of games with 10 points, including away at City. And I just think it's a huge part of the season. I think it could be a huge factor in it.
Yeah, and I think Adidas need to give Trent a little bit more of a bonus, because I reckon sales of the boots are going to go through the roof.
Apparently someone said earlier there's only 300 pairs being made. 300 £300 to go.
No.
Of the top ones, I would say.
The proper ones.
There's 1,994 pairs being made of the other one for the 30th anniversary of the
Black ones.
Yeah, the Trent ones I think will be mass. Look, these fucking big companies torn down capital. They're being mass produced as we speak.
But I mean, he had a few pings from the edge of the box, late in the second half, and all were goal bound, bar a couple of blocks. But again, he showed great composure, I think, for his finish, especially with the way the crowd were and we're pushing for a goal. And like, you want to win this game, it'd be very, very easy to just try and hit that first time, but he controls it and gets it out of his feet, and then just slots it in the bottom corner. It's a very, very, very.
He doesn't slot it. He fucking hammers it into the bottom corner.
You know what I mean?
No, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah, he doesn't.
Well, I'm talking Rosette.
This is the definition of controlled aggression with the shot he hits, because he waits and then just goes, now I'm hitting it, and there's nobody in the world stopping it. It's past the goalkeeper before he can.
When they went for the VAR check, I didn't think it was. I thought, fuck, someone's going to be standing in front of the keeper.
Yes, yeah, but it's definitely for the. I think it's definitely for the header. It's definitely for the.
Yeah. There was nobody in front of the keeper other than his own players.
Yeah. We got on to a couple more things around the game in a minute, but I don't know. Am I stretching this, Shawnee, to it being a big moment in the season?
No, because I think you need to kind of put yourself in an Arsenal fan's shoes or a City fan's shoes. They would have been giddy on 84 minutes. You know, like they genuinely would have been giddy, thinking, these dropping points at home. Not dropping points, getting beaten. We don't often get beaten at Anfield. Liverpool getting beaten at Anfield, haven't got the stomach for it. And the narrative flips then in 2 seconds. Because what I'd say about it, like, I think there's holes in the team. not saying about relatively easy to be got at, but we can still be got at. I think that is something that will be rectified with the acquisition of probably higher caliber players in positions where they're needed or whatever, or maybe just a little flex in the system. Like, yeah, keeping them honest. And we've done the dance. Arsenal are yet to do the dance, and City don't look like they want to do the dance this year. So again, if we're chasing Arsenal come February, March, I'm happy with that. I've no problem chasing them. I really don't, because I thought they were shite yesterday as well in the second half. They would have been looking at today going, oh, bollocks, these fancy a 90-point season again. And those kind of runs come at winning 3 or 4 games on a row at a time. And if you can do 5 or 6, do it with a draw in between. If we get no, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as superstition. We do 6 points rolling into that Arsenal game. They're in for a fucking rock, because that'll be the last game before Christmas at Anfield, and it'll be rocking. The let off in that stadium tonight on 87 is a little thing where you're like, okay, something's happening here.
Does it sound a bit of a warning to the people in the ground? And what I mean by that is that it was very kind of, it was quiet. I'm gonna say it was quiet. It was very.
I will look. I don't look.
But does a service notice where people in that ground, the majority of which will be back for next week or the week after, Arsenal, United, where they go, do you know what? When we got up for it, it's fucking freezing. Like, your hands are nearly falling off. It's that cold. But now now is the time we turn this back into a really fucking hot cauldron for everybody turning up. And United and Arsenal are coming soon, and there's a couple in between that as well.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where, for me, that's where the moment thing comes in, because it's the let off. It's the realisation by the crowd that something's unfolding here, and you hit the nail on the head. If at fucking 4:15 today or 2:20 today, they didn't know whether we were in a title race. 7:30 tonight, they were nearly sure of it. They were absolutely sure of it. So it'll roll into that, and it'll just come into, like, again, Chef Wednesday, not the fucking Chef United, not the piss on fucking chips or that, but these are the types of games we've struggled in the last 2 years. It's an acid test on Wednesday, and I think if you do 6 points out of the next 2 league games going into, I think it's United at home, they will be taking notice of Liverpool. Trust me on that.
You said earlier on, Gav, there seemed to be a change in the crowd before we scored the goals. So there'll be a correlation, whatever the word is. Correlation. Yes. Correlation between, like if we get behind them, they go for it. And then the fact that they gone and got the 2 goals, like it's like, that's probably the loudest. And I wasn't even there, but on the TV, and Keith can probably confirm, that's probably the loudest that Anfield has been this season, I would imagine. That kind of
a long time
relief or whatever. Yeah. And I just think that maybe it will be like a kind of like, well, look, we have to get behind them. When we get behind them, they do good things. And there's a feeling, I don't know, there's a feeling about today's game that it was like, it is, you've got out of jail. I don't think for 1 second it'll be all kind of like pats on the back tomorrow in training, or if they have the day off on Tuesday or whatever. But it's wins like that will generally kick you on. And you, again, getting the points today doesn't mean anything unless you go and beat Sheffield United and Crystal Palace in their next 2 in the lead up to the bigger games between United and Arsenal. Every game is big now. You have to. And look, you're saying that the one thing you know about that has changed something, or it's Pep in his post-match mentions Liverpool about 4 or 5 times. So it's even in his head now. He mentions it several times how well Liverpool played today. When he could have been talking about a whole other thing. He even mentions Arteta as well. So he has his eye on Arsenal and Liverpool. It's in their heads now as well.
Yeah,
And he doesn't want to. He doesn't want us. He doesn't want to be chasing us. He doesn't want us chasing him.
he doesn't
He's
want us
done it
anywhere near him.
before. Doesn't want to. Yeah, exactly. But you can't keep our name out of his mouth. So we're in his head.
Yeah, I think Arsenal win that yesterday, and Arsenal are most definitely in a transfer title race. I think they're definitely in a title race because I think last year will stand to them. Now, whether you argue they've done enough with the squad last year to this year, it will stand to them. It's a year's experience where they went 30 games probably into a 38 game season and were really, really up for it. Liverpool, a lot of players in there have muscle memory as to what a run-in is. There's quite a few new players in that team though, but a lot of those players in that new team are used to winning. I'm winning at their clubs and stuff like that. I'm winning with their country, so that won't really affect them. But it's all about, like, if you look at Liverpool now, I'm trying to think of all the fucking games we have. I know we have we've Palace, we've Sheffield United during the week, we've Palace at the weekend, don't we? That's on the 9th. Then we have
United.
we have Union St. Gelo, don't we, in the midweek?
Yeah.
Then we've United the following Sunday, which is the 17th. Then who have we got then?
West Ham and the Carabao.
West Ham and the Carabao, and then Arsenal.
Yeah.
Before Christmas. So if Liverpool, that's 4 league games, I think. If Liverpool put another 12 on the board there, it's hard to argue that we probably go into Christmas Day top of the league. And then,
no, we will be. If we put 12 points on, we're top of the league for Christmas.
Yeah, because Arsenal. Yeah, 2 points behind Arsenal. So it's when you take it in these blocks of games, it's huge. You know, the sort of way. But you want to definitely come out the far side of the new year. If you're 2 points behind Arsenal now, you want to be coming into January and maybe a game away at Arsenal in the FA Cup because we've been drawn against them, where you're no more than 2 points behind them. That's where you want to be. You're positioning yourself absolutely perfect. And look, it's. I think I'm on board. You know me. I'm on board. Like, fucking choo. Let's go. But Liverpool still have a little bit of learning to do. And I think the biggest learning, I think this is a massive lesson for them today. I think you end up where they come off the pitch and the coaches and the manager go, brilliant, we won. But come here and I fucking tell you for a minute. And when we sit down on the video analysis tomorrow, you're all getting it. Every fucking last one of you. And that just, I want to see us go into Wednesday against Sheffield United and show no mercy. Show no fucking mercy to this because they're appalling. And you go in there and you put them to the fucking sword. And then you go and you do the same to Palace because they're no fucking good either. And every time you think of letting off or thinking, we just win this game, you think back to Fulham. Because you were literally, let's be honest, 6 minutes plus injury time away from a defeat at home. And you'd have been 5 points off the top of the division, not 2. So I think that's huge. And there was an early one in here. And Jono said it, and we might finish on this. Unless you have a sausage of the week. I'm not too sure if anyone has a sausage of the week.
Well, I promised that I would. So the reason I was late, I was the missus was out with the girls today drinking.
Yeah.
So I said that I'm gonna clip this. So I went in to collect her, and one of our friends was getting into the car. I normally drop her to the Lewis or whatever.
Yeah.
And she slipped and fell. And she actually hurt herself. Her name is Lisa McGuinness from Cabin Healy. So I said that I would make her sausage of the week.
Right. Yeah,
so
Lisa.
I'm making me late sausage. And falling. Making a show of herself outside the shelboard.
Big dope, you Lisa.
So Lisa is sausage of the week. I don't have a question about the one this week because I just forgot about it. I'm going to be honest. I was too excited. Jono says, are we going to talk about Darwin's hair?
Yeah, it's shocking.
What the fuck is going on? It's like he's
fucking Katie Taylor running around the top.
Imagine Darwin speaking with Katie Taylor's voice. It'd be fucking amazing. Thank God. You know what?
He needs to, it's getting into haircut territory now. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Even the bleeding man bone is stupid looking. I'd be just, if I was McAllister or something in the hotel midweek.
Shave his head.
Yeah, shave his head, yeah.
But yeah, his hair was mad. It was a bit like, It was like, do you know what? Every time I see her like that, I think David Hay. Every time I see her like that, I think of David Hay. And I was like, is he watching all boxing matches or something? Or what's going on? But maybe David Hay is on I'm a Celebrity or something. Is he? I don't fucking know. But
No.
yeah, he want to sort himself out there. When he looks like he's on the cusp of going, I've tried it all and now I'm just going to shave it all. And it's going to
He's a
go.
good-looking lad. He's a good-looking lad. You need to get the hair down short. Sort it out. That's bleeding atrocious carry on he has going on
Or
there.
maybe if he keeps this messing up, next October we'll just message him and go, listen, do you fancy doing fucking moustaches and mullets for November? And he go,
I
yeah.
have news for you, Darwin. He has a little bit of a dog holiday going on, in fairness to him.
Yeah. But the only thing about Darwin is, with his Ronnie, it looks like he just missed a bit. It doesn't look intentional.
Oh, don't say that, Jesus. He'd be getting clipped.
What?
He just missed a bit.
Yeah, he just went to shave and missed it, and he ended up with a Ronnie.
So as shaving as like as finishing then, is it?
Oh, yeah, we're going to get all that now. All the woke little wankers. I'm just sick of them, lads. I really am. You can't fucking say they're fucking offended by everything. Anyway, we've no question this week. But coming up this week, I wrote it down earlier, so I should have really brought it with me. But we've added 15 new members there. They have a month's free membership, which fair play to all of you, so I put you all on screen. But with that, we're hoping to have 5 shows at 10 a.m. every morning. Don't expect deep football stuff from that. That's just me having a cup of tea and shouting at me from 10 to half 10 every morning. I'm trying to get a couple of guests on at 10 o'clock in the mornings. So if anyone out there wants to come on, you're more than welcome. But that's just basically going to be talking about what's going on, a bit of football, and then people usually end up going, what sort of sauce do you have in your Christmas dinner, because they're fucking food obsessed, right? But I'm definitely going to talk about Pep in the morning. He's having a breakdown. Haaland, all the boys. You found that referee that just gave advantage and then went,
The hooper,
are they going to score or blow it up? Right, absolutely insane. I'm definitely going to talk about him. But
we have him on Wednesday, by the way. People in the chat.
Yeah, we have him on Wednesday, so bleeding. Watch his I'm out. But that was insane stuff. Mad carry on. Tomorrow night. So we have them at 10 o'clock every morning. We hope to do them every morning this week. Tomorrow night, myself, Phil and P, with 3 topics. Tuesday night, I think, is going to be some Premier League chat on Tuesday. I think it might be. Wednesday night, we'll have reaction to the Sheffield United game. Thursday night, we will have the title, which were episode 4 of 6. That's for members. And Friday, I'm hoping to do the tribute where I bring someone on and they pick 3 players they'd like to pay tribute to. So I'll message all the lads tomorrow and they tell me who's available and what they're available for. But I think there's about 5, 6, 7 members show this week alone, and 4 that are on the regular feed. So, but everything is available for download, so don't panic. Thanks a million to everyone that's become a member. Well done to everyone that gets a month's free membership. And hopefully when you watch it for a month, you go, yeah, you know what, they're sound. And it's $3.99 a month. But I must tell you, it wasn't us that gave you them tonight. It was Rory Fitzgerald that gave you that tonight. He won the members draw earlier on in the week. And he said to me, just give out a load of memberships. His winnings would have got about 12. We upped it to 15. So welcome to everyone that has done it. Chris is asking, a title show? Yeah, Chris does the title show. I haven't told him yet. But we're hoping to do that for Thursday, but I'll message you, Chris. I'm not doing the admin on live TV or whatever we call this. Emma, anything else before we go?
No, all good.
Do you promise now?
Promise, yeah.
Okay, because usually he does that and then comes back to me. Shawnee, anything else before we go?
No, all good. Just again, thank everyone for the sharing and the donations on the Movember. We'll be back next year, bigger and better, with a bigger squad of us, and hopefully a few of the listeners feel free to join on.
Yeah.
Then we can do a big.
Muzzies and mullets we're doing next year.
Yeah, and we can do a big mustache convention at the end of November for the
yeah.
Some pub somewhere. You know what I mean? That's the
yeah. What we'll do is we'll just go into the pub, we'll order a load of Guinness, and we just say, stick on the Garbrooks there with it. And they'll just be freaked out completely.
Yeah, line dancing in bootcut jeans and Ben Sherman shorts, all over. We'll be all on the register, boy.
Flat caps. Yeah, flat caps. Right, okay. Flat caps and Liverpool scarves. Happy days. Right.
Sorry. Paul Giovanni has a question there.
Yeah.
Last one.
Oh, yeah. How's the forklift driving stories coming along? Emmett's making up stories about forklifts now.
I'm not making up stories. And Andy was on with you last Monday, and he says he remembers them. So they had competitions. I don't know if they still have them. And I sent you on posters of them. They do still have them up in Donegal and everything. So they're actually forklift driving competitions. So they basically set up like an obstacle course.
Yeah. I'm not denying that these happen because I've
the
seen
blue
them in
pallets.
America. They're amazing. But I'm contesting the fact that you and your dad went forklift racing. Like, it's just
No, we didn't say racing. It's a competition. They're like obstacle courses. So they set them up with the blue pallets, standing up end to end, and they're literally probably only an inch either side wider than the actual forklift itself. Right. The whole idea is who can actually do the course, lift the pallet, bring it from one end to another.
But how do I know you this long? And like, this should be your thing. When you meet someone and you like, a bloke at a pub and they go, "What do you do?" I do this, but I'll tell you something. My dad races forklifts. Right,
yeah. Well,
like that's just the best.
You can call it racing. It's more precision and kind of.
What about the forklift racing champion, Lewis Palatine?
Oh, we're out of here. We can't top that. Well, it's just we're just ashamed of ourselves after that one. But anyway, Lewis Palatine, all right. From me, from Emma, from Shawnee, from Lewis Palatine. It's a good night. God bless. Over and out. Lewis fucking Palatine.